Yeah, it was only in like retrospect when I was talking to Laura on the train ride home, trying to work
Mhm.
out why I was feeling a bit groggy. I was like, oh my god, I drank a lot.
Yeah,
I drank a lot more than I think I usually do.
it's snuck up on me, but it was around the time I was pouring that big thing of rum into a pitcher, and then I just sort of drank all of it,
Yeah,
and then I was like, oh, I've made a terrible mistake. But
yeah.
yeah, I didn't think I drank that much, but apparently I did.
I had the two like little water bottles of the rum and coke. I think they got necked within like half an hour of turning up.
Yeah, I can't believe you turned up with your own hooch. That was
yeah. It's got like 4 X's written on the side of the bowl.
yeah, it basically did. Yeah.
I feel privileged though. Saw your legendary stream setup where all the magic happens.
Oh, everyone always says that.
This is where the magic happens.
This is where the magic happens.
It's like, yes, this is where I play Hunt Showdown. Did you get home okay, Sam?
Yeah, I got him fine.
No,
Smooth.
Sam passed along the way and he's his ghost now.
Oh damn! Rest in peace, Sam.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
you guys went off to the train station, and then
Yeah.
we were hanging out doing some tidying, and it just started absolutely tipping it down.
Yeah,
And we were like, "Oh god, did they get caught in that?"
we got to the train station, and I think we were there for about 3 minutes, and then yeah, it absolutely just hammered it down. It was crazy. We were like, oh, thank Christ! The last thing you want is to be on a train like absolutely soaked.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a really good time. We played. I've finally been converted to Star Fox. It's okay. It's
fuck
it's
yeah.
good.
Is it though?
Yeah. What, sorry?
Is it good? Is it that good though?
It's pretty good. We
Good. Deserves a remake. Well,
yeah.
maybe not a remake. Deserves another shot.
We whipped out the N64 and just played a whole bunch of Nintendo 64 games just all afternoon today.
I think by the end you'll be back on Samus. At the end of this podcast, you'll be back on Samus.
What do you mean back on Samus?
On Metroid. There's something similar coming out soon.
What are you talking about?
You'll see at the end of the podcast.
Right, before we start, I'm just going to grab some chicken nuggets that I put in the oven.
Did you make
It's got nuggies.
Did you make enough for everyone?
Probably. I'm really hungry.
Oh, I tell you what, tomorrow's Halloween, and it was like, oh, they've got no Halloween sweets, so I went overboard. I was like,
Yeah.
just in case the kids come, but I'm still gonna
Shitload of Halloween
have all
sweets.
I'm still gonna have all the lights off, the door locked, not answer it. But I still got all the sweets just in case.
Yeah, everything to like defer actual children turning up, but just in case. No, we got.
If we had pumpkins outside, they would be inside for that one night.
One night only.
Yeah, one night only. No, we had we got the N64 out today. We did a Super Mario 64 like speed run, quote unquote.
Oh yes,
that was pretty fun.
With the glitches and all, or
some of them, yeah. It's like we started just playing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we've all seen the speed runs, right? And we were like, what if we just try to do them? We have YouTube.
Yeah, we were kind of messing around, right? And we were like, haha, yeah, speed run, what if we? And then, yeah, go on.
Yeah, so what was it? We did the bunny rabbit through the door thing, which we watched some really scuffed YouTube video fail at doing it like 20 times. And then I just absolutely nailed it first try.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
that was fucking wild. That was
so good.
And the back jump thing as well, where it was like, I don't understand
the BLJ, the backwards long jump. Yeah.
You handed it to Will, and then Will just went, "This is how you do it."
I wasn't quite that confident, but yeah, pretty much.
You watch it, and then we thought like, okay, maybe you just jump backwards. Is that it? And then we couldn't do it the first couple of times. We were like, okay, no, let's look up how you actually do it. And it is, you just jump backwards and mash the button.
Yeah.
And hope that it works. And it took that one was a bit harder. But we did that. And then it wasn't really a speed run, but we finished Mario 64 with like 17 stars or something.
in like an hour,
yeah,
an hour and a bit, something like that.
About an hour.
Hell
I think.
yeah!
We should have timed it because that was pretty.
Yeah.
That, we did do it pretty quick.
You should have
There was a-
streamed it.
There was a bunch of times around the middle where I was just dicking around, which we lost a lot of time there. But
yeah.
apart from that, kind of nailed it.
It was just us, like you say, just dicking around, just playing the game. At which point we were just like, should we try and just do all the speedrun stuff? And then we just
what if we just actually finish the game right now?
Yeah,
we did. It's pretty funny.
Because people.
What if you upload your time to speedrunners.com?
It'll be way at the bottom. What else do we play?
But it did make me think, because you watch these people doing Mario speedruns, right? And you kind of like, if only. But like, we just sort of sat down, watched a YouTube video once, and then did it.
Yeah.
So it's like, after that, it would just be like optimization, right? It would just be doing the game bit faster, because we kind of nailed the glitches you need to do.
Well, that's how it is most of the time. That's how a lot of speedruns and stuff start, where it's just you finish a game and you just like, I want to play it again.
Yeah,
and then you play through it again, and you finish it a few more times, and you're not finished with it, right? So it's just like, what else can I keep doing? I guess I can do it faster.
Yeah, yeah.
And then before you know it, you're in too deep. and you're like best in the world at playing Aladdin on Super Nintendo.
And that's all you do is play Mario speedruns all day every day.
No, then you get into the like the randomizers and stuff for it.
Yeah, that's too deep.
Or the bingo boards. Yeah, when you watch speedrunners, they I've seen when they play just one game, they mix it up after a while.
Yeah, so we played that, and we played we played Lilac Wars. I was saying how I'd played the first couple of levels before, but I'd never like seen the like end of it. I'd never played it all the way through. That game goes to some fucking weird places at the end.
Well, it's funny, we were joking. There's a bit at the end, spoilers for Lilac Wars,
25-year-old game.
There's a bit at the end where you do like a pseudo trench run, right? Like, and you have to follow this corridor. And we were all laughing and joking, like, Death Star trench run. And then it comes out and you fight Andros, who's just a giant monkey face in space. And it's like, it really goes places.
Well, there's the thing where you shoot Andros at the end, and his face explodes, and he's just a brain with two eyeballs.
Yeah, and he yells, "Only I've got the brains to take over the planet," or something. It's amazing.
And then Fox is like, your true form. It's just a big brain.
I love that game so much.
We can have more. We can make more of them. Why not? Have you played much of that game?
Me?
Yeah, you seem to be like just that one specifically. How many times have you finished it?
Countless times.
Oh yeah.
It's one of the two games. As a kid, you get your 3 games a year, and mine was Mario 64 and Lilac Wars. But I remembered quite a lot about like Lilac Wars. I didn't remember anything about Mario. Weirdly, I don't know why that was the.
Oh, Mario 64.
Wait,
yeah.
I've just had a realization. Is Lilac Wars? Is that not just the Kingdom Hearts gummy ship sections?
It looked like it, mate. It looked like it. Trust me.
Well, it's like what if Star Fox was made?
Not in Kingdom Hearts.
What if Star Fox was made out of Lego pieces? It's basically.
Well, I mean, it's back in the original, it looked like it's made out of like 4 Lego pieces.
It looks surprisingly good. It was just the frame rate. We kept talking about the frame rate because there'd be like 2 explosions on the screen, and it would literally drop to like 5 frames a second, and it would be like mission accomplished in like slow rendering text, trying to go as fast as it can.
It's now we have the discussion about, there's even people saying like 60 isn't enough. Now it's all about the 144, right?
Yeah.
And I always think like try like 10.
Yeah.
That's what we had to put up with sometimes.
Well, so after that, our friend Matt was playing Zelda, Ocarina of Time. And even that, with like rose-tinted glasses, the game is just like, this game runs at like 20 FPS at its max at all times, or what feels like, because it's not.
I think
it's not locked 30 for sure.
No, definitely not. But like, I think it's not. I don't think frame rate is the problem with those. I literally think that controller is. I think the N64 is one of my favorite consoles of all time. I think it has the worst controller. Maybe I don't know until the Joy-Cons. Maybe because I was like I thought Joy-Cons. I hated those, but going back and playing on the N64, I was like, ooh, this does feel bad sometimes.
As soon as we started playing Mario and just running Mario around, I think my response was just like, "Oh my god, this feels awful."
yeah.
Why is Mario so weird controlling? Has he always been like this in this game?
Yeah, and all the games they kind of feel like your inputs are like suggestions more than they're like commands. You know what I mean? It's one
of those things where, because we were talking about like you can play a lot of those games on Virtual Console and stuff like that, and I think it's been so long since I've played on original hardware. I have played like Mario 64 on like a PC emulator and stuff like that, but you play it with like a DualShock, right, or like an Xbox controller. But then to go back and play the game on actual N64 controllers when it's been so long, you kind of forget, like, it literally feel like toys in your hand.
Yeah, they do. They feel like really cheap Mattel toys.
Yeah.
It's like when I plugged in the Rumble Pack and then you took it out again and I was like, no, that's the wrong move. It feels way too cheap without the Rumble Pack.
It weighs like a gram.
yeah. It's like holding a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Have we started the podcast yet?
Yeah, welcome to the Game FourCast, everybody. we'll jump off of Steve's confusion. We're just chatting shit. It's fine. We're just talking about Mario 64.
Yeah, sorry, Steve. You got places to be.
So it's just like, wait, did I miss the start? I was just worried.
Yeah, you blacked out. You look at the time and it's like we're 50, 60, 70 minutes in or something. You've been asleep the whole
time. We've been chatting about Mario 64 the whole time. Yeah.
No, we had a party that this weekend just gone. We played a bunch of Mario. That's what we were talking about. We will start the podcast for Steve. He has got places to be. Welcome back to the Game FourCast, everybody, the weekly gaming podcast where we get together and chat about what we've been playing and all the latest news stories for games. My name is Josh, aka BottlerWorks, and I'm here with Olive Meister Will.
Hello, my name is Olive Meister, and Will was right about Lilac Wars.
He was. I'm so sorry. Quikwix, Steve.
Hi, my name is Steve, and at the moment we import 2/3 of our adult Japanese manga. That is a disgrace.
That is a disgrace. And Sammeh.
I'm Sam. Hi.
How's it feel to already be a not relevant meme?
I've got to get it in quick before.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister will change again. You'll be 2 PMs out of date. I'm jumping the gun this week. I'm taking the first turn. I really want to talk about what I've been playing this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got my tab ready. I've been playing a game called Signalis, which, as you can see here, this is the Steam page for it. This came out on the 27th, which was 3 days ago as of recording this. It is on Game Pass, and it's also obviously on Steam for $15.99. This game is great. I love this game. I had no clue it was even coming out. I think even you left it out of the upcoming games, Steve.
I left it out, yeah.
And then
last week was packed.
I thought you told us about it.
No, I did, but that's because King of Cinders in chat was Rick, mention this. But last week was so packed. I was like, some of these have got to be cut, and I was like, this one doesn't look at like.
Rick, what are you doing on Sundays? You want a job?
Yeah. He's got better taste. But yeah, apparently it's also free on Humble Choice. But yeah, this game kind of came out of nowhere for me. But I love this game. I thought I'd finished it. Apparently I haven't. There's a little bit left I've got to do. Because it does some weird stuff at the end. But I'll show you a few screenshots for if you're watching. It looks amazing as you play it. It's like it's
maybe it looks better in motion.
That's my thing. I wasn't sold on this art style, but
let me find a trailer, just see if I can just show something. Here you go. So it's like, it kind of looks like pixel art. But it's all 3D, and they kind of chuck the graphics through like a really chunky like pixel, like low res thing.
Yeah, what was that side-scrolling roguelike?
Dead Cells.
Dead Cells, yeah, it reminds me of Dead Cells.
Yeah, where it's like they've basically made like, I'm not gonna say PS1 models, but they've made like kind of
they've made models and then chucked them through a pixel art filter
yeah.
instead of doing just pixel art.
This looks like the old Resident Evils in a way, the gameplay slightly.
Yes, so that's really good you say that. So basically, these games are classic Resident Evil in style. In gameplay, sorry. So
yeah.
If I find like some screenshots, here's one here. You see like in this screenshot, let's make it bigger. This is like the inventory system. Like classic Resident Evil, you get 6 slots. You can't carry any more than that. So yeah, there's like inventory management. There's save rooms with storage boxes. If you remember those from Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I remember storage boxes, yeah.
Yeah. But I think so in terms of like gameplay, it's kind of isometric looking, but it's not tank controls. You have full control of your character. And you have a full, almost like twin stick aiming, which is kind of good. It feels very modern, even though it's like riffing on Resident Evil.
Yeah,
those games can be very chunky to play.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, you play as the story's kind of confusing, but you play as an android trying to find your human partner, basically, and you you descend into this I call it a facility. And the gameplay is, you go through rooms, you have limited ammo. There's never enough ammo to kill every enemy. So you have to, work out which ones you want to kill, which ones you want to keep alive. And it's your whole Resident Evil thing of, you come across a door and it's, there's an owl-shaped key. So you got to, find the owl.
Wow,
key.
really? It's that Resident Evil?
It's that Resident Evil. And if I find... So yeah, you can see this one here gives you an idea of just some of the enemies. There's like the enemy design is more towards Silent Hill as opposed to Resident Evil. It's like sci-fi Silent Hill.
Yeah.
But it's just great. The presentation is amazing. It's hard to describe, but there's a whole bunch of cutscenes that have the really stylized cutscenes. Like where it's like the whole screen is like the most saturated red color. And then there's just like a big Japanese character, like a symbol in the middle of the screen, and there's just like German text around it or something, and it's like flashing images, and then like it's all like a hallucination scene. Someone appears quickly, and their like eyes are like crying blood, and it's all like, it's so good. It's amazing. There are some first person bits as well. There's not many of them. But there was one hit. So yeah, there's certain bits. If I can find it, you'll go into first person to sort of look around a little bit and interact with a few bits. Sometimes to do puzzles in first person. So yeah, like this one here. This is one of the puzzles.
Is this a long game or is this quite a short game?
Like I said, I thought I finished it in about 6. I want to say 6-7 hours, but there's a little bit more. Yeah, just I love this game. It's completely come out of nowhere for me.
I'm downloading it right now.
Yeah, it's so atmospheric. It's a bit of a slow start, I'll be honest. It does sort of a thing where it gives you a pistol and some ammo, and you're like, okay, let's go. And you don't see a lot of enemies for a while.
Yeah.
Which I guess is good. It's like tension building. When you get to like the midpoint, it starts getting really hard. And like I say, you have to pick and choose what enemies to kill, what ones to run around. It does the Resident Evil 1 thing as well, the remake, where in Resident Evil Remake 1, you would kill a zombie and it would knock it out of commission for like 15 minutes, but then it can come back alive.
Yeah.
This game kind of does that, where you can shoot and kill enemies, but they don't stay dead. So you have to really think about how to use your ammo properly. Just really, really good game. I've had so much fun with it. The puzzles are really good. I think the standout is just the atmosphere and the aesthetics.
Yeah.
I don't think I've played I haven't played an indie game that's really like taken me aback like this in a while.
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah.
Trying to think what else. Like, you know when like you first played something like Hollow Knight, and you go against some of the bug bosses and the way they animate, and you're like, oh fuck, this looks really cool. This is really good.
Yeah.
Like what this game is trying to do, it does really well. I think this is one of those games where it's like they know what art style they want and what like thematically they want to do, and they just completely nail it. It's perfect. It's so good. Yeah, can't really sing any high praises. There are a few tiny problems that I had with it. I'm not going to say it's absolutely perfect. There's some of the controls can be a little bit fiddly.
Yeah.
There's for some reason it's like for me, I'm not sure if it was just like I was starting to question if it was my controller because I couldn't find anybody else saying this. But I find in a few areas just going through a few doors is quite fiddly, which sounds really silly. Like, why should that be? Yeah, Rick's just said in chat that doors are fiddly. There's been a few times where, because the game is so, like I said, yeah, not even that. It's like you go up to a door, it doesn't just open. You have to wait for a prompt, then you press X, then you walk through, and the walking through is automatic.
Yeah.
Sometimes you like rush to a door, and the prompt either takes a second to arrive, or you don't quite find it, or it just doesn't appear full stop, which can be in a survival horror game where you're running away from monsters sometimes as opposed to killing them. There were a few times where the door prompt wouldn't like appear, and I would just get slapped by a monster. I'm like, that's really annoying because there's no reason I should have been slapped by that monster there.
So it is like Resident Evil, just like Resident Evil.
Well, it's
very fiddly.
Well, it's not like, I feel like it's not like, oh, okay, I know the doors are fiddly, so now I have the knack for going through them. It's just sometimes it felt like, for some reason, it's just like, what am I doing wrong with
yeah, what do you want from me? Like, yeah.
And then you'll go back to that door again later, and it'll work fine. So, but the first time it just didn't. Yeah, that stuff's a bit weird. That's kind of annoying. But other than that, yeah, for anyone that has Game Pass, or if you like survival horror games, this game is just fantastic. It's so good.
Does it have big favorite part of Resident Evil 4 weapon upgrades? What we talking?
No, so it's not so much Resident Evil 4. It's, you can specifically look at this and point to Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3.
Right, okay.
Where it's like you get your pistol, and then you progress a bit, and then it's like, oh, here's a shotgun. You know, and it's like this. The monsters all get bigger and harder, but you'll slowly get more firepower to combat to deal with those monsters.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's a shame. I like those Resident Evil upgrades. I'm a simple man.
Yeah, it's not like Resi 4. It's like ye old classic Silent Hill, Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3. Inventory management, ammo management, health management, all in a really sick sci-fi eldritch horror aesthetic that I haven't seen in any other game. It's great. I love it. But yeah, very high praise.
I'm downloading right now. Yeah. I'm ready.
Really, really good.
When
you do play, it's like it's proper horror. Like, make sure you play headphones. Like, get proper into it. Basically.
Oh right, okay. Is it spooky then? Is it actually scary?
It's not. It's quite hard for me to get spooked. I just don't get scared by stuff very easily. But I think it's absolutely dripping in atmosphere. And
right, okay.
You stick some proper headphones on, and as you're just sort of like roaming around, taking in the sounds and the graphics, it's worth really getting stuck in. That's my take from it. It's almost like I did the same with like Scorn as well, where I played in the dark headphones and stuff, and it's like this is a lot scarier than that. Even though Scorn is a lot more gross.
It's first person.
And it's first person, yeah. So.
I made the mistake of watching a YouTube short of Scorn, and then it was just like, oh yeah, I'm just seeing gross on my YouTube shorts now.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
That's pretty good. But yeah,
I was like, someone was reacting to a bit where someone gets strapped in, and then there was some pumping action via a machine.
The penis, yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, and now it's just Scorn. I'm like, not when I'm trying to go to sleep, thank you.
All that came from Scorn in the end was, the clickbait videos of streamers reacting to the part of Scorn where a machine sucks you off at the end.
Well, hold on, what? I just uninstalled that because I decided I wasn't going to bother. But what the fuck?
It's not as
it's
crazy
not
as it sounds. It's a bit where it's just like Scorn is Scorn, right? You're kind of used to it.
Yeah.
And then a bit happens, and the camera
and you're
looks
just like, sure.
It's like it comes out of left field. It's just like your character's getting on this like almost like a crucifixion kind of thing, and the camera looks down, as in your character looks down, and a big dong just flies out, and a machine just like latches onto it.
It's in like half a second.
In half a second, to the point where
that's why I had to let the short play out, because I had to like freeze frame it for a second just to double check.
I bet.
I was confused.
I only watched it like 8 times.
I'm not sure if I like blinked or something, but I didn't. I missed that when I played it. Everyone was like, "What do you think about the dick scene?" I was like, "What are you talking about?"
What do you think about the dick scene?
But yeah, fantastic game, Signalis. Go play it. That's my takeaway. Steve, what you been doing?
Oh, well, I was going to talk about Visage, since I've been saving this one. I was like, for the Halloween.
For the Halloween special.
For the Halloween episode. But yeah, I've been playing Visage over the last few weeks. I've still not finished with it.
Visage.
That game. Whatever. I've been playing this spooky game that seems very PT inspired. This game is very scary. The premise of it is, well, you don't really know, but it's like you wake up and you're in a house, and then there are 3 chapters to start, it seems like, and you can choose which one you do. I've done 2 out of the 3 so far. I need to do the 3rd, probably Tuesday, I'm not sure. But it's very atmospheric, very scary. And yeah, so far the 2 chapters I've done, one was a bit more like there were like mirrors around the house, and like you step through them, and so it was like a bit more puzzly. It was like you have to go to this part of the house,
like portals,
get the clue to then go to the other part of the house and then do the puzzle and stuff. But the first one I did was more scary, I think, because it was it was like a direct part, like a direct story, but there was like things that could kill me, and that was worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game is terrifying. It's got the mechanics of your light is limited. Like you have lighters that you can find around the house, but they are limited like usage. And if you stay in the dark too long, your sanity goes up, so you start losing. You start seeing more scary things.
That's like Amnesia. The old Amnesia games had a sanity meter based on light and darkness and stuff.
Yeah, but this is a very because I'm playing a scary game. I'm usually drunk when I'm playing scary games, and luckily I've got some lovely people in my chat who are like, if I'm stuck, they will be like, oh yeah, go up here, because the game tells you nothing. You kind of just have to go, and there are certain parts where it's like, I wasn't sure, didn't think I had to go like back down to the basement or something straight away, but so it is nice to have people there to help me, because I like the scary parts. I don't want to be frustrated while playing a scary game. But it's very intense. There are a couple jump scares. But
I was gonna say, is it scary because it's just like all jump scares?
No, it can
feel a bit cheap sometimes when it's all jump scares.
That was because I've also played Visage, and that was my experience with it. I did not like Visage when I played
you mentioned PT
I don't
earlier.
like it either, but yeah.
Which I do like PT. I think it's got, again, a lot of atmosphere in that. But those games are scary because you know you're going to get jump scared and you're just sort of waiting for it to happen. It's not it's not fear of the unknown. It's just like, I'm about to get jumped at some point, so I'm at a constant state of like tension, waiting to get spooked.
I have, like, the first one really threw me because I was like, oh, there's stuff that can kill me, and that was like, oh, you know, you can be chased and you have to like hide and like stuff. But I'm not sure if it's because I'm drinking at the same time and I'm playing it like in the evening, and I have sound alerts on my stream, so people are redeeming sound alerts to also scare me.
Yeah.
But I definitely find it going into the dark. I don't like. So they like to put that in, out there quite often. And but yeah, I would say this is probably the scariest game I've played on stream. I've enjoyed it for what it is, but it's not. Well, I've enjoyed it for what it is, but it's not like I'm like, oh, I love scary games. Let me go play another one.
There's the odd picture here. I saw in a video of him holding like a hammer. Is there any combat in this game, or
no?
It's all tools.
Yeah, there was one bit where you could like have a camera and you could freeze an enemy. Like there's like an enemy that you can't see or something. Like you like use the camera to stun them for a second. But that just led me to spamming the camera every 2 seconds and my chat saying I was giving them epileptic fits. So, but yeah, I would say it was definitely a very fun game for Halloween. Like each section, like the 2 sections that I've done seem to take about 2 hours each. So it was like perfect for like you don't have to play it all in one go. Like once you've done with the section, it seems like the horror, the scary parts kind of like chill out.
I just saw a thing in that trailer said there's some content in this video that might not be in early access. I didn't know there was this game early access at the start. Then
I think it still might be early access.
I don't think it is now. It looks to be.
Yeah, I don't know. But it has that PT feel because PT was you're in that one corridor the whole time, and this is you're in the house like 95% of the time.
It's like you were saying there were chapters, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, they count them as 3 chapters. I think the 3rd chapter you have to do the other 2 before, so I'm not entirely sure.
But do those chapters feel like really obvious early access? You know, like milestones. Like here's where an update ends.
No. Actually, the thing I did like about Visage is you just sort of wander about the house, and there's a whole bunch of different chapters that you can trigger, but you don't know that, like, you're going down this route, you know?
Oh, I like that. That sounds cool.
Which is interesting, yeah.
So it's just like,
The problem is I just didn't find any of the routes all that interesting when I was down them. I don't know. I think in hindsight, I think I'm harsher on this than a lot of people. Like, I've heard.
It looks like really visually interesting.
To me, it was just like you've played it all. If you've played any of these types of game, you know what I'm talking about. Like wander around, get jump scared.
Layers of fear,
amnesia. Yeah,
I haven't played any of those though, so it was a different experience for me.
Outlast to a degree.
And what killed it for me was we had a bug where our sanity kept draining for no reason, just constantly.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, after you've been stabbed by the same old biddy in a nightgown like 9 times in a row, it's not scary anymore. It's just annoying.
Yeah, as I was gonna say, I like scary games for the scary part. I don't want to play a hard scary game.
I think that's the problem with scary games, full stop, where it's a very fine line where you almost have to take it way too serious, right? Because otherwise it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
There's the whole stuff about I mentioned Outlast a minute ago, and a lot of that game is about running away from convicts in the dark, hiding, looking for a camera. But you can, like, if you ever want to play a horror game and you want to like chill down the tension during a chase scene, just let them catch you.
if you just full send it like every time, the game is not scary anymore. It's funny how it's like you literally just face your fears, and it's easy.
You let the guy catch you. He will, because your brain goes to like, if you take it seriously, your brain goes like, oh, if this guy gets me, he's going to mutilate me. It's going to be gross and violent and blah blah. But typically, you let the bad guy catch you in a horror game, he'll look at you and then like just slap you a few times, and then you'll do like a death animation, and then it'll restart, and it's like, oh, that's not actually that scary.
I think there are like, if you can meet horror games on their terms, right? Where you could be like, I will buy into being scared by your monster if your monster is, like, I don't know, like threatening and scary, but I have ways to deal with it and stuff like that. Like I always think of there's the enemy in Dead Space that just keeps getting up, and you have to find a way to kill it.
Oh yeah,
and I always think that was way more scary than any of these like walking sim horror games that I've ever played, because I was like, I want to progress in this game and I don't know how to deal with it. Whereas these are like, oh, they caught me, back to checkpoint, I guess.
Yeah,
cool. It's like
it
just stops being scary.
It caught me. It shoved its face right into the camera.
Yeah, it's like it's almost comical by like the second time it happens to you, isn't it? Yeah.
Or you get to the point where, like you say, the first time is like it's kind of scary, but then you get caught, and you have that tension build and tension release, and then every time after that, it just gets fucking annoying.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, you crazy old lady! If you catch me again,
I've taken 9 painkillers. I know what you want from me.
I will say though, I've seen a lot, because it's Halloween week, so spoiler alert for releases. There were a lot of, I did cut a bunch of them out, but there were a lot of these types of games, but none of them were as like looked as polished or pretty as Visage. I will say that's one thing, is like the graphics for this game are like pretty top notch compared to a lot of the ones which seem a bit like, oh yeah, they're in early access, or they look like they're in early access.
Yeah. No, I think like you say, it's you gotta buy into it. That's just my takeaway. This is just, if you buy into it, you can really have fun with it.
It's a bit like if you're playing Dead by Daylight Customs, and like one of you's the killer. If you're a good killer and you're playing with like new people, you don't like charge at the enemies and just like kill them all instantly. You kind of like play into it. Make sure everyone has a good time. I think that's the thing with horror games, is you can like fully game them, but you kind of let yourself be scared.
Yeah. Well, did you have any final things you wanted to say before we wrap it up?
I always, whenever I talk about this game when I'm not playing it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's really fun, and then as soon as I start it up, it's like, oh, I remember I hate this game. I'm just saying that entire time, I hate this.
It's just horror games, I think. It's but that's like the best content to watch, right? It's someone that is truly scared of what they're playing.
Yeah, it's just funny to me how like when I'm not playing, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember having a good time with it, and it's pretty fun, and then it changes the second it's in front of me.
All right, then. We'll pass it along then. What have you been playing, Will?
I don't really have much to report this week. We've just been super busy with real life stuff.
Yeah.
We've carried on our Grounded adventure. We're getting to the I don't know. I keep saying I think we're getting to the end, and then we'll get to a whole nother section with all new enemies. And
well, that again is like early access, where every update has to feel somewhat like an ending, right?
Yeah.
To keep players happy.
I guess so. I don't know. This game is like constantly adding, like, I'm constantly finding new stuff, and we're finding new things to do.
Yeah.
And this game is just fantastic. I love it. I think if you have any interest in something like The Forest, because I know that got delayed, didn't it, recently?
Oh, Sons of the Forest.
Sons of the Forest. Yeah. So if
you're
looking
name.
for that, it is weird. Yeah, it is weird. So yeah, if you're looking for a forest-esque experience without all the jank, I would say Grounded is probably the best one of these that I have played. But no, apart from that, I'm out. But I have been playing an awful lot of Marvel Snap, which I know Sam's very excited about.
You and Sam can tag this because that's what you've both been playing, right?
Very much, yeah. It's consuming me.
Oh my god, we were around your house this weekend for the party, and there's just periods of time where everyone was just playing Marvel Snap.
It was kind of like there'd be like a lull in the conversation or something, or like you'd be like, "Oh, I need to go get another drink," and then I'd be in the kitchen and be like, "Let's just see what my dailies are."
Yeah.
Because it's that fast. It's like literally, you'll finish a topic of conversation and be like, all right, while we're deciding what to talk about now, I will just bang out a round of Marvel Snap.
Yeah, it's disgusting how easy it is to play.
Disgusting.
It's disgusting.
So what rank are you both now?
I am rank 30. Well, it depends. Are you talking account rank or like rank?
Okay.
Alright, so there's collection rank, which is like how far through you are unlocking all the cards.
Yeah.
And then there's your MMR rank, essentially.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, but like, are you both quite in there now? Because you were talking about last week about you weren't sure if they were bots or players and stuff like that. Are you?
It's players now. It's definitely players now.
Yeah.
The start is 100% bots.
Like, I think I at the start for it.
Like people that didn't know how to play still wouldn't make the decisions that those bots made.
Yeah. Even if you've never played a card game before, you cannot be that stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It has to give you easy wins at the start to get you hooked. Tuck it in.
Yeah.
If you play a brand new card game and get absolutely riddled 2 matches in, you're just like, fuck this, I'm never playing this ever again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so do you think you'll both carry this on? Like, do you actually see it having legs? Is it literally just flavor of the week for?
It's really difficult
hard
to tell.
It's hard
because if they keep the like pace of unlocks going and new stuff to play around with, then I really like, because this whole time it's been the season of the symbiote or something, right? Which is all your Venom and your Carnage and all that. And that ends next week. So presumably there's another season, right after that one. And then we'll see what's in that. But it's like, because it's mobile games, I don't know if I will just drop this tomorrow and never play it again. You know what I mean?
Play it again.
Well, it's just it's live service, right? I assume, like you say, as soon as one season ends, there'll just be another one and another one and another one.
Yeah, exactly.
And it just goes forever.
But it's constantly like, I don't know, there's like a really good feedback loop of like, you'll do a couple matches, you'll upgrade a couple cards, and then you'll go to the like account rank thing, and it'll be like, hey, you've got a couple new cards, and I'm like, ooh, do they fit into my deck? And then sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. But even when they don't, I'm like, oh, but that's interesting. I could make a deck around that instead, you know? And it's just like, I don't know, man, it's really addictive.
You said there was a new season coming out. What is the one Marvel property they could do that you'd be like, maybe I could get like the Battle Pass to get these fancy cosmetics? Like,
I don't know. It already goes pretty into the weeds with some of their characters.
Yeah, there's like, some weird pulls. I'm like, what the?
I do like though that it's like, let's go into the weeds early so we don't burn out very quick.
Well, no, you do like half and they're doing half and half because it's like, there's some weird stuff, but it's like there's still Hulk and Iron Man.
Hulk and Iron Man, yeah.
But you go.
Have you seen Thor yet, Sam? Has he shown up?
No, I haven't seen.
No,
Thor
I reckon
yet.
I reckon they're holding him back
next season.
Yeah. Next season, Thor.
What's the one from the collection? I was looking. It's like White Tiger or something?
White Tiger, best character,
and it's the like black. It's the Black Panther suit, but it's just white. I'm like, what the? Is this like some weird comic book shit that?
Yeah,
I have no clue.
It's fun though because I'm like, I see some of these characters and I'm just like, looks neat. I should look that guy up. It's like such a good advertising tool. Whereas, even though, I don't know who White Tiger is, but I'm like, but they're in a cool comic.
You have that every single Marvel Disney Plus TV show.
Yeah,
where it'll be like in a newspaper article, it'll say like blah blah is doing something, or a character turns up and they pick up a cane and they spin it a certain way, and then the subreddits be like, "Is that can't be blah blah."
yeah.
Do you see the way he spun that stick? Is he going to be blah blah? It's like, calm down.
Yeah.
So you and Sam are both the ones that are mostly into this. It didn't grab me.
I dropped off of it.
It hasn't grabbed me. I have tried. But...
I think it's I don't know if it's going to become like my main game in terms of card games, but I always find I burn out of things like Magic Arena and Runeterra because I will eventually get to those super long matchups where the game takes 40 minutes, and by the end of it, I don't even care who wins. I'm just bored of this. And this game is like, I'll be like 2 minutes now, in and out. I'll just do a couple games, and it doesn't outstay its welcome ever. And it's just really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how are you finding it, Sam? Besides the fact that you're really loving it.
Yeah, it's hard because I can see it having the same issues as every other card game. Right?
Yeah. Like what specifically?
Just for like power creep is going to be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to do like? I doubt it will do set rotation, but like when you look for a card game to have legs, every card game comes up with the same issues. The card pool gets too big, power creep, how often do you release new cards, etc., etc. And then normally they'll add in new mechanics, and then all the old cards that don't have those mechanics are now like, again, power creep, they're just not useful.
Yeah.
So you go through these phases, and I wonder to see how they'll manage that. But right now, again, the games just last like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And because of that, it's so easy to just play it.
Yeah.
And it gives you just enough to where you're constantly like looking at your hand, and even though there's 6 turns, you're constantly like, well, okay, if I do this on turn 3, I can do this on turn 4, and and it's like it's just enough where I feel like I'm making combos and I'm making smart plays, and there's also, but then it's like also covered by this veneer of like randomness, where even when you get blown out, you can be like, oh, whatever, he just got his. So there's always, you're never like, no, I didn't misplay. That guy's bullshit, and it just that's what you can always just like blame the game,
I wish for the fact that so many people that we know are playing it, I wish I enjoyed it more. But card games have always been a hard sell to me anyway. I've never been the guy that's into these sorts of games. Runeterra was a fluke.
Yeah, I also think they just it feels like a single player card game in a way, because there's no like friends, there's no challenging as far as I know yet in the game. So it feels like, no matter what, even if you're playing with your friends, you can't interact with them in any which way.
I suppose that's just they put it to the
did
side
you ever
to get the
play
game out.
Hearthstone against people you knew?
I have.
I didn't.
There was the challenge to friend quest, so I was sometimes I'd be like, "Hey,
right, okay."
So because
Greg,
of the carrot on the stick, you play with
for
friends.
Material gain, you get your friends up. Yeah. No, like card games are always like a me time thing, and this one is, it's perfect for me time because I don't really have to try all that hard.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see how it goes.
I'll check in next week. We'll probably hate it.
You have one bad match, and you're like, you know what? Actually, fuck this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's cool. Is that both of your games for the week? Have you played anything else, Sam?
I mean, unless you want me to talk about WoW or Across the Obelisk again, which I don't think people do.
No. Wait till you play something new, for God's sake. Okay,
so I have a couple things for next week lined up, but I just have not had time to play much this week at all.
I'm at the point now where so much stuff has just dropped all at once. Oh, what have you played?
I have been playing another game this week, and I just completely blanked it.
What is it then?
I've gone back and I've started No Kuni 1.
Oh hell
yeah!
I just completely forgot that I played
So you're
this.
really enjoying it then?
That's the thing, though. I am. It's just Marvel Snap just took over my life the past today and yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've played and finished Ni no Kuni 2 because it came to PC. Ni no Kuni 1 was like a PS3 only game for the longest time.
Yeah, it is on Steam now though.
And it was like it was a weird, like not weird because there's tons of them and I love the genre, but it's a Pokemon style JRPG kinda. Like you kind of build a team, but it's not. It's about the characters more so than your pets, really.
And all the key art and graphics were done by Studio Ghibli.
That's the big positive.
Yeah, that's like a massive positive.
You get to cutscenes, and I'm like, oh my god, this ported PS3 game looks miles better than like most games that have come out in the past 10 years.
It's all about art style, man. It's just solid art style.
It's actually weird to have the disconnect of the cutscenes are so incredible, and then you go back to the gameplay, you're like, oh yeah, this is what it looks like.
that was the biggest problem with Ni no Kuni 2, is I thought the second game was a better game.
Oh yeah, it's
but losing the whole Ghibli part in the second game hurts it quite a lot, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
but wait, is the second game not Ghibli?
It's no, it's not. But they try to somewhat keep it cohesive. It's still like cell shaded, but it feels like
but it doesn't have that touch.
I feel like
magical touch.
When I think of Ni no Kuni 2, I think of like it looking like a Tales of game, as opposed to like a Studio Ghibli kind of thing. You know, like
I can see that. Yeah.
This is the second one. So there's
video of it.
Well, there's a screenshot of the second game.
That screenshot instantly, I can tell. Yeah, that's not.
Oh my god, I forgot the fucking Lisa Simpson looking thing.
Lisa Simpson, yeah.
And then if we go to like, you can just tell, that's the first game.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
second game. The second game looks better out of cutscenes.
Yeah,
but the first game completely outshines it.
Yeah,
when it comes to cutscenes, and it's a very weird situation to be in.
Yeah. I forgot about Ni no Kuni 1, but I forget like the key plot points, but I had a bad experience playing this game back when I played it.
The only times I ever played this was when I was round Steve's house as a young lad.
As a wee boy.
So you're playing my copy then.
I was playing your copy on your PS3 in your brother's room. And I never got past the first dungeon because it's a JRPG, you know. Yeah. I never got very far, but I always loved playing it.
My problem with Ni no Kuni is just the AI on your monsters was garbage, and like the healers wouldn't heal, and it's just like why am I losing this boss fight? Oh, because my healer is just in the back, like spinning on the spot, broken.
Sounds like a get good problem.
No, it was a common complaint. It's in this trailer. You see it here. There's a boss fight with a skeleton here in this trailer. On a boat, and that was a point I actually got stuck because I just couldn't heal for it.
Right.
And I think in the end I brute forced it by playing as the healer.
Yeah, that's what I've heard people say they've done when they played this.
But then it's just like, oh god, I have to play as the healer the whole game in a single player JRPG. It's not what you want to do. I want to be the monster doing cool combos and stuff.
I'm getting through it. I'm having fun.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where it's like I'm just playing it at my own pace.
Yeah.
I'm in no rush.
Okay, I have a question as well because when I played this on Steam, I purchased it again on Steam because I'm crazy. It had there was a graphical issue, and apparently it was quite a common one. Did you have to do anything to the executables or whatnot, or is it?
No, I've had no graphical issues whatsoever. So,
what made you want to pick it up?
It's just one of those games which has been in my library for ages, and I've gone, need to play that at some point.
Yeah,
need to play that at some point. I need to play that at some point.
Yeah, I think the second one's on Game Pass. I think.
Oh, the second one is fantastic. Finished it. I don't know if it's on Game Pass, but I finished it on Steam.
The second one's also got like weird mobile game timers for the base building. Do you remember
that? I do remember that. I didn't have issues with it, but it was weird to have that in a single player game.
Yeah, I just remember playing it, and you build up your city, and it's got the timers, and you do a thing, and it's a single player JRPG, and the game's like come back in 24 hours. It's like, fuck off, man.
I had that experience with Bravely Default.
Yeah.
I was like, Bravely Default had cash money,
cash money,
and also like a mobile like village thing, as you said.
Yeah.
Like, why are we getting this in a single player game? Like, no, stop that.
It's not common. You don't see that much. I think, like you say, you got Bravely Default and No Kuni 2 do it, and you don't see a lot of that. It's almost like they sort of realised early on how terrible of an idea that is.
Yeah, I can't think of another game that does like. I guess Fable is the only one, but that's sort of different.
Mortal Kombat 11 has that, and it does the slimy microtransactions of speed up, do this, help. Yeah, it's not great. Universally hated, obviously. But that's the only one I can think of. That Ni no Kuni and Bravely Default.
Yeah.
But yeah. So how far are you in this? In Ni no Kuni, sorry.
I've just got the second character.
Is that the girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going fine.
Yeah.
I'm having a blast playing it, I'll be completely honest.
I was gonna say, I think the biggest selling point for Ni no Kuni is like the world, and it's just feeling like you're playing a Ghibli movie. 100%.
Yeah, that's its best merit. It's just like it's a living, breathing Ghibli game.
Yes.
100%. And then when it was coming out, that's all the marketing I remember was saying as well. Just like every website preview, every magazine preview was like Ghibli.
Yeah.
So.
But fantastic game.
Yeah.
So far, I don't want to be like 10 out of 10 when realistically I'm not that far in.
Yeah.
So let's curb how much I'm rating it.
You played this before as well, though, right?
Only the start. As I said, I only got to the starting forest. I never actually got outside it. So
cool stuff. Should we move on to?
You may progress.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for your permission. All right, we'll move on from that then. We got that's all the games played for the week. We've got some questions. We've got a question. Let me find it. This was a question from Korn. This is very Halloween themed, which is always nice. Just, do you know of any, or do you remember any sort of creepy or unsettling video game scenes or music that just stick with you? Like anything scary that's happened, or any music that just you really remember from a horror game?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, go for it, Steve.
I can't say. I don't think I played many horror games. The one that, I've got one that I can think of, but for me, the scary sound was always the Sonic underground right out there. That one I was like, yeah. Other than that, it would have to be like Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Always sends a chill down my spine.
Yeah, it just makes me mad.
But no, the only scary game I really played when I was younger that I can remember was Gregory Horror Show, and that had like some there was like some like tense music whenever, like, because the premise of that game is you're trapped in a hotel and you have to get the souls of every guest, which they like keep in their room. And then if you take, like, they're fine and you like follow them, but like if you take their soul, then every single time you see them in future, they like get that startled sound and like chase you.
Yeah,
that music I used to hate.
Yeah, I've got so scary game music that sticks with me is if anyone's played Clock Tower on the Super Nintendo, like quite an old game.
don't think so.
I know the name, but
yeah, there's
haven't played
you have the Scissor Man in that, and he chases you round this like spooky house, and every time he's chasing you, the music's it's like really intense horror music, like dun 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 dun, and it's really good, and that music just sticks with me. In terms of like scenes, deliberately scary and accidentally scary. You've got Isaac and the needle in Dead Space 2.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one.
That's a really good scene. That one stands out. You've got accidentally scary. The Sonic one was really good. That's a really good pull. But in Banjo-Kazooie, I think it's the second level. I think it's called like Pirate Cove, Treasure Cove, or something. If you go in the sea,
the shark that chases you. Yeah.
And it literally plays like the Jaws music, like dirt and dirt, and you know, as like a 10-year-old kid, I think it's even younger, like 7 or 8 maybe.
Yeah,
it's so scary. It gets me every time. I remember a specific time I was playing that with my sister. She's 2 years younger than me, and she was playing it, and that happened. She jumped in the water, it starts chasing her, and I remember vividly her literally throwing the controller just away. I can't remember where she threw it, but she just took the controller and just yeeted it across the room. Those are my ones that stand out. Do you and Will and Sam, do you have any that you?
I have similar, like intentional, not intentional. My not intentional is kind of, I guess maybe not intentional is the wrong word, but anything with like deep water and a threat. So like the shark, like you said in Banjo-Kazooie, I hated that. There was the other one where it was in Mario, where they had the big world, little world.
Oh yeah.
And if you went in the water, there was a giant fish which tried to eat you.
Yes.
Similarly, couldn't stand that. What was the other one? In Zelda, Jabu's palace.
Oh, all the jellyfish and shit inside his belly.
And you have to swim down and go in its mouth, don't you? And I couldn't stand that.
Yeah. So I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah. Oh, deep water in games I cannot stand. But also, just when I was a kid, I hated Dire Docks with the eel. Yeah, we actually played that today, and did that literally this morning. Yeah, faced my fears.
I think we were playing it, and you were like, "How do we get the eel out of its hole?" And I think I said something like, "Just swim in front of it." And I think it comes out. And I think you replied with like, "Oh God!"
I was like, "Fuck that!
Don't make me do it."
So yeah, that's I don't get it, because I'm not scared of the ocean. I'm not scared of like swimming pools, but just something about deep water in games and not knowing what's out there really freaks me out.
It's like deep water in general is just a thing where you look at it and it's like, we're not supposed to be here. Like humans are not made for this in the slightest.
Well, I think it's because with deep water, it's like it's a 3D plane. Like it's like space, but like there could be caverns.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
It's just the unknown, like, and it's like you can be attacked from anywhere. Like usually, if you're like playing a horror game, you're not worried about below you.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, like, I don't really get scared by games that often anymore. I think because like when I was really little, I used to get scared by the very first Zelda dungeon.
Yeah.
In Ocarina of Time, you go in the big tree, and there's a big spider, and it plays that like threat music, and I was like, nope, I'm good. I'm gonna go play football.
Absolutely not.
Fucking out of here. Yeah. But one that did get me was I never had an Xbox, original Xbox. So my love of Halo comes from playing it on other people's consoles. But that was we always played multiplayer, right?
Yeah.
So I never really played the campaign until it came to PC.
Yeah.
And then I was playing through Halo, and you get to the flood in the swamp.
Oh God!
And I was shocked. I was like playing on my own. It was like 2 a.m. because my parents were in bed, and I was playing on my little PC, and it looked terrible. But I remember I was like, because it starts and it's like a cutscene from like a Marine's perspective. Oh, you get the helmet, and it's playing the recording of all the zombies, and they do a really good job of like really building tension where you're going through and you're seeing like the Covenant, but they're already dead, sort of thing, and there's dead Marines, and then and I was like, what is going on? And I just remember that being really weirdly effective in my like funny alien killing game. You know,
that's why it was so effective, because you're playing Halo and it's like action game, cool action game, and it's like, oh, by the way, horror. And you're like, wait, what? I'm not ready for this.
Yeah. And it's funny now, like you watch it and it's laughable, but I remember, just being at the time, it really got to me.
Yeah,
I was really freaked out that evening.
Yeah, you got Swagger in chat says Half-Life 1, and as someone that recently played through Black Mesa, that game's really it's got some points where it's very horror. It's very spooky.
You think it's like Half-Life's the funny physics game series, right?
Yeah,
but those zombies are kind of fucking horrifying.
They're horrifying, yeah.
Really terrifying when you're a kid. Yeah.
What about you, Sam?
So again, I think it's like back when I was younger, because nowadays I can't think of anything, especially not from modern media.
Yeah.
But Lavender Town.
Oh yeah, the music.
Oh yeah, that was kind of unsettling. Yeah,
that shit was just freaky.
That's you go through all of Pokemon, and it's just like, oh yeah, they feign, cute Pokemon game, and you get to a place, it's like, here's where all the dead Pokemon are, and here are their creepy ghosts, and the music is scary, and it's like, oh, why?
You get in a battle with like a ghost, and it just tells you to get out, and then you black out, and it's like, oh boy, I'm not ready for this.
I am 6 years old.
The only other one I can think of was there was a Minecraft disc. I think it was called like 13 or 11.
Oh, I don't know.
But like that one was just creepy.
Yeah.
For considering what Minecraft music is, it's all the little blocks and stuff. But that disc in particular, I can't remember which one it was called.
There's like Minecraft like cave noises that are scary. Where it's just like creepy noises and that.
Unintentionally scary is the creeper noise.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, it sounds like though you've like like a creepypasta of like, this Minecraft 13 disc is cursed. And you hear it.
It was. You put the disc in, and it was just like you just listen to it, and you're like, what the fuck is this doing in the game?
That's always always the best kind of creepy stuff, though. Is the stuff that is not necessarily scary to anyone. It's just like some stuff just sticks with you specifically.
Yeah,
it's like the whole the Banjo-Kazooie one, which is like, it's just a dumb shark, but because you play these things at such a young age.
Yes,
it's
the age, I think. Well.
It's like core memory locked in for life. You tell anyone else about it, and it's like, it's the scariest thing in the world, man. Yeah, and you go back and watch it, and it's like, this is fucking goofy as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I can think of any other like horror stuff that really sticks out. I played.
I didn't play too many horror games when I was younger, so
yeah. I played the early Resident Evil games at quite a young age, so a lot of that was like that kind of stuck with me. Other than that, there's it's not a game, but I remember Shaun of the Dead, which in hindsight, watching it as an adult is like hilarious.
Yeah,
there were some scenes in that when I watched that as a kid, and I was like, that really scared me. It was horrible. There's a bit.
I had a similar thing where the very first Mission Impossible, where the dude gets killed in the elevator. That shit haunted my nightmares for years. That was crazy.
Well, that scene deliberately is like, it's quite scary. There's like a Jack the Ripper bit, or like looking bit, where there's like it's all foggy, I think. Yeah, and it's all like spooky music.
Yeah.
Don't know why I said Jack the Ripper. It's just like, for some reason, I just like attribute that to like Jack the Ripper kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And there's like, I think like Tom Cruise is going down the street or something, and he thinks he sees his teammate or something, and they're just like getting stabbed against a fence or something.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Because that's scary, man.
It's just funny, how there's that stuff Yes, like you said, just sticks with you sometimes.
Yeah, haha, goofy James Bond spin-off movie.
Yeah,
Actually haunting children's nightmares for years to come.
yeah.
Anyone got anything else before we chuck
It's
this
the
one
only
away?
two I can think of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great question, though, especially for Halloween. That's a good one. I like that. So, yeah, thank you for that, Corn. That's the question for the week. If anyone else has any more questions, as always, you can email them in at thegameforecast@gmail.co.uk, or you can always leave them in YouTube as well. We pick them up from all over the place. So, yeah. With that, we can move on to some of the news. There's a quieter news week this week, but there's a couple of good ones.
Yeah, there's a few good ones.
Yeah, we'll start off with the big one of the week, which is, if we bring that up here, The Witcher 1 is officially being remade in Unreal Engine 5. This is the big one of the week. Who here has played the first Witcher game? I have, long time ago. Anyone else
never
played
finished it? But
Not
I played a fair chunk of it. Yeah,
I never finished it either. I think
so.
So go for it.
Well, the big question is,
I know what you're gonna say.
The sexy trading cards coming back for the remake.
They have to.
They probably won't. They're kind of crass in hindsight.
Imagine if they bring them back, but those are the one thing they don't HDify. It's like, it's 2 pixels.
Well, it used to, from what I remember, it used to be. It was a whole side quest thing where you would go around and sleep with women, and they would give you a card of just them topless, and it was like, okay,
yeah,
that's just a side quest in this game.
I could see that not going down well.
Yeah, I don't think they'll leave that in. I don't remember the combat of this original game. I don't remember much of it at all, to be honest. I remember it looking really jank. That's all I really remember.
I've never
they
seen
tried
any
some
footage
stuff,
of Witcher 1, so I'm like, it'll be a totally fresh experience when
yeah. I feel like
I will say if you can get past the jankiness and how dated it is, and the combat is not very good, the writing is still not bad in that game.
Yeah,
it's still, it's still adapting from the books, so they got source material to go off, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, well, it's like, I feel like when I look back at the Witcher trilogy, like Witcher 2 and Witcher 3 in my mind are very similar. I don't know if they are. But like,
yeah, no, I don't know about that.
But just in my mind, I think of the Witcher 2 and 3 are kind of like similar in the way they look.
Definitely, yeah, 2 is closer to 3 than 1 for sure.
Yeah, and then 1 is like this weird like jank game.
Yeah,
that kind of sits in the corner with its booby playing cards. But yeah, so this is the story. So it's being remade. Yeah, Unreal Engine 5 from the ground up.
And this was one of their projects that they announced. It was like, this was the Canis Major or whatever. I'm not sure what it was, but there was like one of the projects. They teased the project name and said, this is that one.
It seems really weird to me for them to be like, we're working on a whole bunch of games. Here are their project names, but you can't know what it is. And then like 2 weeks later, they're like, okay, it's actually this.
Yeah, were they still umming and ahhing on what they were gonna, what that was gonna be at the time? Like, I know.
Maybe they're doing this because they were like, everyone talk about Witcher 1 and distract from the fact that Henry Cavill's no longer going to be the Witcher.
Yeah, so you can tie that into this as well. But yeah, there's the current uproar, which I think is it's today. It was yesterday.
Was it yesterday? Yeah, I was really drunk.
I have no idea. I was blasted on.
I think someone shouted it at the party. Like what?
I think that might have been me. Like 2 big beers and 2 rum and cokes deep. Like, oh my god, Henry Cavill's not the Witcher anymore. Because he loves the Witcher. Like he's actively said that he loves playing that character, and he wanted to play it for, I think, like 7 seasons or something. But there's a lot of internal arguments about where the story is going, because he's really faithful. He wants it to be really faithful. Whereas I'm pretty sure that the TV show goes a bit mad.
They want it to be more TV apparently, which I find really funny because I'm like the people who I know who don't like The Witcher, they don't like it because it's not faithful to the books. And I'm like, but Henry Cavill wants it to be faithful to the books. So
I think my problem with the Witcher TV series was I didn't think it was that good.
Oh no, I liked it. I have never read the books. I played part of the Witcher 3, which I need to finish at some point. But I really enjoyed it. But I just like high budget fantasy series, I think, in general.
I really liked the first season. I thought the second season was a bit weaker, but I really enjoyed the first season.
I think my problem with
I think it's just he's getting pulled in so many directions, right? They just put James Gunn at the head of DC, and it looks like he's going to be Superman. So maybe they're just like, look, Henry, come on, man, you gotta pick a lane, dude. Like, it can't be everyone.
What was the other? We were talking about who could be. Were we talking about James Bond as well?
James Bond, he can't be James Bond, Geralt, and Superman. That's not fair.
It's not fair. Let's save some women for everybody else. You can't be all three of them.
My hope is that he's going to announce his retirement from The Witcher, to announce directly after that he is starring in the very first Warhammer 40k TV show.
That would be so
because he's talked about it forever, wanting to do it. So that's my hope.
A fake fan.
He is, but that's what he's been told to say.
Yeah. Who was the other one? It was what's his face from Fast and Furious? What can't I think of his name? The one with the deep voice, the bald guy.
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel. Yeah. I forgot his name, but yeah, he was the other fake fan where he's like, "Oh yeah, I love Dungeons and Dragons."
No way. No, I believe Vin Diesel sits around and plays Dungeons and Dragons when he's not filming Fast and the Furious.
No, they're all fake fans. But yeah, so
you know how he's he's real because he made a movie about his D&D character and it was terrible.
It's my passion project.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, you have this news aside about the game. Yeah, Henry Cavill is no longer Geralt after season 4 onwards of the Netflix show.
Yeah, he's got one more season.
Got one more season in him. It's going to be Liam Hemsworth. Yeah, the not Thor one. Because there's 3 Hemsworths, right? One is Thor, and the other 2 aren't Thor.
Yeah. But yeah, Liam's like the middle one, right? And then the other one is you never see him.
Yeah, what was the other actor brothers? Was it the Skarsgårds?
It's Luke.
Yeah, the Skarsgårds. We've been talking about them a lot recently because he's in Andor. Yeah.
You've got like 3 or 4 Skarsgård brothers. One is Andor, one is Pennywise, and the other 2, who cares? But they do things. But yeah, I'll play.
There's always the 2 good brothers, and then there's like the rest.
Yeah. You can't all be Thor. You can't all be Pennywise the clown. So, something's got to give. But yeah, you've got this is there? I don't think there's like no date or anything on this.
No, this is just another like casting call in it.
Yeah. There wasn't even like a trailer or anything. It was just we're doing this.
Yeah. Well, they're still looking at. I think it comes out somewhat soon, but you got the modern, not remaster, but just like the next gen update for Witcher 3.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably one of those things where they want to get probably the whole trilogy somewhat playable on next gen hardware, right? The first one remade, probably 2 at some point as well. Just make 2 look pretty and have them all like as a package.
Yeah. I think especially since like it's the Netflix series has done so well for them.
Yeah.
I think it's like people have Witcher fever right now, so they're trying to get as much out as possible.
We talked about this a while ago, but there are lots of people that I know that have no interest in games whatsoever, and they're all like, "Oh yeah, you seen The Witcher? That's a cool show. Been watching Witcher on Netflix."
Yeah,
it's just like, it's not a lot of properties that break that barrier, right?
Yeah, especially not. I bet the guy who wrote Witcher, I bet he didn't see like people going fucking nuts for it.
Yeah. Well, what is the Witcher? It's Polish, isn't it?
Yes, it's Polish.
Yeah.
CD Projekt Red are a Polish studio.
Yeah.
They were so proud of The Witcher 2. They presented a copy to Barack Obama on a state visit.
Aw.
I assume
That's a little fact. Little fact for you. Little Barack Obama fact for you.
I assume he got 1,000 game score.
I mean, you'd hope so, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Michelle, come look at this game. It's great.
Look at all these trading cards. I mean,
oh god! Don't press that button.
Wow, we have terrible Barack Obamas, don't we?
Yeah, gonna move on rapidly from that.
Yeah, I think we should.
Next news story: Overwatch 2 players are angry again. That's the whole news story.
Surprise!
Yeah.
They were not angry?
Next story. No, yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Why are they angry?
Okay, Overwatch 2 players. So the Halloween event is right now. So Overwatch 2
slightly delayed, right, because of the launch.
I don't know. It's one of those weird things where like, does it matter as long as it's available on Halloween?
Yeah.
When would you schedule a Halloween event, Steve? When would you pick?
October 1st.
No.
It starts October 1st and ends November 2nd, just so people have a little
we're
bit
doing silly answers, are we? Oh, okay.
No.
Here's
Or at least start of October, like early October. Get it?
Here's my opinion. You take however long your event is, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever. Halloween is 2/3 of the way through your event, the day of Halloween.
I don't know. I'm like, for a lot of people, Christmas starts November 1st. I'm like, just end it like November 1st or 2nd.
Christmas starts November 1st. Oh
what are you talking
God.
about?
What did I just hear? What did I just hear?
Wow, I don't know why that
people,
got me so angry, but I
a
am
lot of
angry now.
people do think Christmas starts.
A lot of
November
wrong
1st.
people.
I agree.
Is your house Steve the one that's blasting Mariah Carey at the 1st of November?
Right,
No,
now
that's just my headset.
before we go there, I was one of the people that the second it hit December 1st, you start playing Christmas songs at work, right?
Oh, no, true.
I'm down for that. But
No.
November is a completely different ballgame, and you're wrong, Will.
It's like a soft start to Christmas. It's like, it's not, I agree. I personally agree. I'm like, November's like a down month before Christmas starts on December. But for some people, it literally is. As soon as Halloween is over, they're in the
You've officially bought into all the marketing, Steve.
They got you.
They got you by the balls.
I'm one of Mariah's lambs.
Yeah, for us, it's in at least sort of South England, bonfire night is a very big thing. So that's always the next event after Halloween, before Christmas, is bonfire night.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's.
But anyway, Overwatch 2.
Yeah, go back.
What the fuck were we talking about? Oh, who cares?
So, yeah, Halloween event for Overwatch 2. So the issue with it is basically the cosmetics, right? People have gone from Overwatch 1 having loot boxes, which that's a whole other thing. But it was still somewhat generous with skins, right?
Yeah.
You would, every time you would level up, which was quite common, I think, in Overwatch 1, you would get a loot box. And
like 2 or 3 games? What? 2?
If that, I think. Yeah, something like that.
And even like when the event every time an event started, they'd give you a free loot box as well.
Yeah. But now it's gotten to the point where with this new event, all the actual rewards for playing the event are voice lines, and I think there's one weapon charm, which I'm sure everyone knows what weapon charm is, a little thing you stick on the side of your gun. The actual skins themselves, the premium skins, are now pay shop 20 to 25 quid based on which one you buy.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's like people were saying, like, loot boxes aside, all the shit with those, 20 and 25 quid, so 45 quid, that would buy you a copy of Overwatch 1 with the ability to get all those skins. People are very upset. What are you going to say?
I just think it's like, I'm glad we're moving away from loot boxes. I'm not happy we're moving away from loot boxes to much, much worse monetization systems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Also, I think we spoke about this as well, which is just, I don't mind paying for skins that I want, right? Like, that's fine. But I still feel like all these games with their pricing, they're still targeting whales. they still, even though like I feel like I'm not the market for a £20 skin because I have, like, I'm not gonna say common sense, but it's a lot of money for one skin.
You do have common sense.
I think as you play games and as you like grow older with games, you do get to the point where it's like, I know that like even if you do buy the skin, it's gonna be cheaper next year, and B, there'll be a newer skin that you want instead. So it's like there's no point. There's always a better skin.
I've really struggled to, because it's like, obviously you pay money for whatever you want, of course. I'll back you, whatever. But to spend £25 on a skin in a first-person game where you don't even see the skin is ludicrous to me. I can't reconcile it. However much I think about it, it's absurd.
Yeah, it is absurd, and it's just. That's the common ground for it, I guess. The reason, so there are so many other games that charge this similar pricing, right?
Yeah.
But I think the reason
is a big one.
Yeah, the reason it's causing such a big stink in Overwatch is because you have literally just had that, like, the fingers have snapped. We've gone from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2, and a lot of the pre-existing player base are just like, this new one is shit.
It's much worse.
It's so much worse. And it's all topped off by the fact that if you don't like it and you prefer the old way is gone. Overwatch 1 does not exist anymore. You cannot.
Yeah.
And what was some other stuff? Yeah, so a lot of the older skins that were in loot boxes in Overwatch 1 are now in this new cash shop for like 10, 15 quid a skin.
Yeah.
Insane.
And it's almost like, I know it's always like hindsight or whatever, but it's like, if I'd just played a bit more of the base game, I could have had that cool skin without having to pay 15 quid for it. It would have been in a box that I could have maybe gotten at some point. It's all a bit shit, really.
Yeah.
And it's all compounded by the fact that kicking Blizzard is easy these days.
Oh, so easy.
It's so easy.
Say, I think World of Warcraft is safe because they're like, it's pretty entrenched now, but it makes me worried for Diablo 4. Because before I was like, oh, they've got their monetization version with Immortal.
Yeah.
Isn't World of Warcraft already rife with microtransactions?
Yeah.
Not
for skins that are also really expensive.
It's got a mount
pay
shop.
6 months sub to get a skin in WoW.
Called out.
You get that. No, you get if you pay the 6 month sub, you get basically the skin for free. Whereas you can also buy the skin in the shop. But it's not, the cash shop skins are never that great in WoW. Like,
it's literally free.
No, but there's always literally better skins elsewhere. Whereas, like, this makes me more worried for Diablo because I'm like, I thought Immortal was going to be their monetization cash shop, like for the whales, and 4 would be gameplay first. But if they're doing this for Overwatch 2, I'm like,
oh, I said that when Immortal came out, when Immortal was so rife with bad mobile monetization,
I should have listened.
And people were saying, oh, but no, it's fine because they've said Diablo 4 is going to be fine, and the main one. And I still stand by. Obviously, it's not even out yet, but I stand by. Like, there will be something. Something will be slimy.
Oh, you for sure. You will be dying. But I think that it's the difference between Immortal. You're paying for power and advantage, and I don't think that will happen in Diablo. Maybe I'm completely off base, but I feel like we're all there riding the line like Valorant does, where it's like it's fine to charge £90 for a single cosmetic when it's just cosmetic. You just don't have to pay for it.
Yeah,
and I really hate that. But
I think
they're not wrong.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, yeah, it's I can play Valorant and I can enjoy Valorant because I'm not, those gun skins are too crazy, but. Like, even just being like, oh yeah, they're in the game and it's fine. Like, it's starting to become like such a problem. Like, games is more and more games are doing it, and it's.
Well, here's the thing, right? And this is like kind of like diving into like economy stuff, right? But with inflation and everything around the world getting more expensive, right? Inflation or whatever being a percentage. If a game is going to be free to play, you can't make free more expensive, right? You gotta find money elsewhere. And I think just over time, all these cosmetics and stuff will, even though they're already expensive, I think they'll just get more expensive because the people that are already paying like 20, 25 quid, they'll pay 30 quid.
Yeah.
I mean, look at PlayStation 5 games. It was like back in my day, it was like 30 quid for a game. Now it was 40, then 50, 60. Now we're up to 70, and that's.
I'm shocked that the prices of Valorant gun skins was accepted so quickly. I really thought that would be a bigger deal than it was.
That blew my mind. Yeah. When you see people defending. And
It's not even just defending, but it's like you play Valorant and here's an AK skin or something or a knife, and it costs 60, 70 quid, and you're like, that is insane. No one will buy that, and you go in a game and like 3 people out of 10 have it. It's like, okay, it's insane, absolutely insane. I'm trying to think if there's anything else about Overwatch to really talk about. The Halloween event is the big one.
I did see that apparently Overwatch, like, no one wants to play support in Overwatch at the moment.
Oh, the actual...
What a shocker.
Yeah, the meta itself is kind of weird in Overwatch. So if you play, role queue, it's 1 tank, 2 DPS, 2 healer. And it kind of feels like there's too much healing.
Yeah.
Where we actually talked about it today, Will, where you were talking... I think... Was it you that was talking about time to kill? It was you or Matt?
It was probably Matt.
It might have been Matt. Yeah, I was talking to Matt about Overwatch, so it was probably Matt. It's just like you can be having a fight, and then it's just like there's just constant healing everywhere, and a lot of healing is just like AoE, like passive.
Yeah. So
it's just like I can't kill this person because here's Lucio running around and blah blah blah. And it's almost like it needs tweaking. At least that's what I think. I think a lot of people are happy with it, but it feels a bit weird.
It's kind of like removing 1/6 of a team is sort of kind of a band-aid fix, almost.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough about the game to really say like they should do this or that. But
although I will say, still compared to Overwatch 1, not having like 2 shields that people can rotate and stuff, the pacing of combat still does feel better than Overwatch 1.
Yeah, it is. Sure. Yeah, it is better in that regard because of less shields. But we'll move on from this. So yeah, Overwatch 2 players.
Gundam Evolution. Just saying, it's right there.
I'm not that desperate.
I also thought a thing about
none of those problems.
Apparently, half the world can't play Gundam Evolution because it's region locked for a lot of people. So.
I didn't know that. Yeah, but not my half. So
why Gundam Evolution players are getting angry?
They literally can't play.
They literally can't play. This one, not much to say on this one. I was going to leave it out because you did the news this week, Steve.
Yeah,
and there is kind of something here. It does kind of feel like Kojima. It's Kojima dick waving again.
Yes.
He's claiming that the studio is making 2 games. One of them is probably Death Stranding 2. And this other game he's talking about is apparently like a new medium, and he's wanted to make this for years, but has never been able to. There's not much to go off.
He said that about Death Stranding though, and he just made an elaborate walking sim.
Yeah,
I've seen it all before.
Interconnected players and people.
Yeah. What was it? He's called it a Strand game.
Oh my god! Yes.
Whole new genre.
The Strand genre.
Oh god. I was gonna say with this one, he's saying if this one succeeds, it's gonna change every single future game and every single future movie.
Yeah. Basically, what he's gonna do is they're gonna make a movie and a game. And it will tie in somehow. How else do you affect both mediums?
He's going to call it a Goofy because it's going to be a game and a movie at once.
Yeah, it's called a Goofy. Yeah, that's that. Not again. Yeah. There's nothing here to really say, but I do kind of buy into it a little bit, even though I know it's stupid.
Oh, how can you still buy into it at this point?
I don't like buy into it as in like I'm like infatuated or whatever, but I'm kind of just like. I do kind of like when Kojima just releases some weird shit. Like, for as many problems as Death Stranding had, I'm like, a man traveling across a weird wasteland with a baby in a jar whilst Low Roar is playing on the radio. Like, yeah.
We've indulged Kojima for far too long.
Someone make him stop.
That's my new take. Yeah, someone needs to take him aside. Look, calm down, Kojima. Yeah.
I think it was like, it was Konami, right? He was part of.
Yeah.
It's like after the Konami thing, and it was like, Sony was like, we're gonna take in Kojima and give him free reign, and now they're like, maybe we
yeah, Sony gave him a blank check basically, and Sony they're like, what's the problem? And you got Konami on the side being like, you fucking watch.
Enjoy.
Konami's over there like, all right. All right. You know what? You can have it.
Yeah. you don't even know.
Good fucking luck.
I love it.
I'm glad he gets to keep making whatever he wants to make. I don't know. He says shit like that, and how can you not roll your eyes at that?
I love it. I do love it. Okay, next story. Callisto Protocol has been cancelled in Japan due to censorship dispute. This is basically Japan are very strict about gore in games. I've seen a bunch of stuff in the past about specifically Resident Evil 2 Remake, and about how that game is quite heavily censored in a Japanese version. Yeah. There's like there's zombies in RE2 Remake that are missing like everything below the torso, with like guts hanging out and crawling around. That's not in the game. They're full bodies with like legs and everything, and then they could crawl around. And so basically Callisto Protocol comes out December 2nd, I think. It's really soon. And it's gone gold. I think that was another news story from last week. It's gone gold. And what's it? It's Cero, CER. Yeah, here it is. That's their ratings board, and they've told them like, no, you cannot ship this in Japan. We won't let you. You got to change it, and they've just said no. It's like, well, we're not. It's a bit like artsy fartsy. I think there's some stuff about like it will compromise our vision.
But me and you were talking this week, and I think you said like it's great publicity of like, oh, this game is too gory for Japan.
Yeah. And we were saying about like, would this game even sell in Japan?
That's my complete tinfoil hat, no basis whatsoever. I reckon they were like, well, look, we were only going to sell like 20 copies in Japan anyway.
I said 7.
Not even bother. 7 copies. Too hardcore for Japan. Looks way better on the box. Will do way more for us than.
Oh my god! Can you imagine literally putting a big sticker on the box that just says "Too hardcore for Japan"?
But then to bring it back to the Witcher story, Japan would be like, "Hey, can we get some more booby cards in our game?" The Japanese version.
Oh, Absurdity's just brought up a really good point. He said this is an escalation of the old "your mum would hate this." Yeah. Do you remember that? Dead Space did an ad campaign where it was about getting. The idea was it was showing Dead Space to people's mums. That was so all these old women. And they would watch it, and then it would show them going like, "Oh, that's disgusting," and stuff like that. And that was the whole. It was a horrible campaign. It was rubbish, but yeah, that's what they're gonna do. It's
Top thing here: how was the "Your Mum Hates Dead Space 2" campaign legal? Yeah, it was like old React content, wasn't it? Just middle-aged women being like, "Ugh, gross."
Yeah. But that's it. That's the next step in this is a whole country. They're going to get a whole country in to react to Callisto Protocol.
Japan reacts to Callisto Protocol.
Yes.
I'd watch that video.
That sounds like a viral YouTube video. I'd watch that, yeah. And then, so that's that one. Last little story. Age of Mythology Retold. So, I never played this, but I always knew about it. I had a cousin that was always like, Age of Mythology.
It was great. I didn't ever play Age of Empires. I had Age of Mythology. I think it's basically Age of Empires, but you have like Egyptian, Roman, Norse gods, and they have their powers, and like, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, yeah, these types of games are always weird because they remind me of the games that you used to get in cereal boxes as a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because like,
I'm with you.
Yeah, like toys and cereal now, if they even exist, which I don't think they do. They got really shit, but it used to be you'd be like 6-7 years old, and you would buy a box of Cocoa Pops.
Yeah.
And it would come with like fucking Roller Coaster Tycoon or something.
Yes.
I think by relegating Age of Mythology to a cereal box game, I think you've just made a bunch of people really mad.
No, okay, so in defense of that, I know for a fact that I got Age of Empires Gold, which was the first one, in a cereal box. So I know that for a fact.
They would do a lot of demos in the cereal boxes, which is...
It was a full game. I swear it was a full game.
But there are several games like that where I got the demo and I was like, I've played that game, and it was like, oh, it was like literally the first level that I would play over and over again, thinking I finished the game.
Also, okay, so should probably explain the story. It's being remastered?
I have no clue if it's being remastered, remade, reworked.
I don't think we actually know yet. The trailer doesn't really show much.
I know that they're saying that this is its definitive edition.
It's a re-release with some graphical enhancement and Twitch support.
Oh, Twitch support could be fun.
What would Twitch do for a game like this?
It drops.
Twitch has typed Kappa, and now your whole army's just been killed for no reason. Yeah, it's like, I played a lot more of Age of Empires than this one. There was also there was one called Empire at War, I think was another one.
That was the Star Wars one. Star Wars Empire at War.
Yeah, there was another one like Age of Empires, but you started as cavemen and you went all the way to like sci-fi like characters.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I mean, there was a whole bunch around that time of similar sort of concepts.
It wasn't Rise of Nations. I can't remember. It's gonna elude me. I'm not gonna frantically Google for 10 minutes trying to find it, but this sort of game sits in that kind of a category for me, and I just kind of feel like cool to the people that like this, but like, are people screaming out for a re-release of Age of Mythology?
Well, I just think all of the Age of Empires HD editions have done really well.
Yeah.
So I presume this is just like, we might as well. We got,
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Why not? Yeah.
It's one more cool little thing you can stick on the list of Game Pass and say that we have.
We could put it back in a cereal box for all we know.
Oh fuck yeah!
I was gonna say, as a mythology player, Age of Empires never interested me because it's like, oh, it's just like Age of Empires with the board without the interesting bits.
Yeah.
So there's probably a bunch of people who played mythology who are like, oh, I could go for that. But I'm like, it's like after Warcraft 3. I'm like, maybe I'll see if it's on Game Pass. Oh wait, it is coming to Game Pass.
Yeah, it's
Game Pass on screen. So yeah, I'll try it on Game Pass for sure.
Yeah, Absurdity just said in chat it was Empire Earth. I was thinking of.
I
had a friend that used to always talk about that, and that's like.
I feel like you could put any empires of ages. There you go. I bet that was a 4X game back in the day.
War of Nations, Nations Empire, Age of Nations,
Age of Nations.
That's all the news for the week. So, what do we have coming out, young Stephen?
Before we get to like releases, there is a game that's out now that is kind of apparently hunt-like. It's up for until Tuesday. It's called Dark and Darker. This game is a PvPvE game like Hunt. Apparently, people are comparing it to like Hunt or Tarkov. It's only like you can gain access to it by requesting access on Steam. But I literally requested access and instantly they were like, "Here you go." But this is a like a medieval.
What the fuck is that? This is not Steve.
I mean, Booty Hams is playing it right now, and I was recommended it by people who like play Hunt and stuff.
This looks like a Morrowind mod.
This is early access, and apparently the game is coming out Q4 2023, so it's still very early access. But I just thought I'd bring this up because this is sort of like similar to the games we play, like it's PvPvE.
When you started talking about this was this screenshot here is from the game. This is the last thing I think I thought of when you were.
Yeah. Apparently, the people are saying it's good, but the combat feels a bit slow. But again, that's something they can work on. But I just thought I'd bring that up. Sorry to the people who are listening, not live, because this will get by the time the podcast is out, it's probably not going to be active on Steam anymore. But yeah, I was just like, oh, this could be an interesting thing if any of you are interested.
This is a game that I'll have to hear very strong word of mouth before I even touch.
I might try it tomorrow, so we'll see. But I was just like, oh yeah.
You let us know next week.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, this week there were a lot of like Visage, those like kind of like horror games that were like, you know, first person and stuff. And there were also a lot of city builders for some reason. So I apologize if I've skipped some of the good ones, but there were a lot of them. The first game I was going to talk about is Evil Nun: The Broken Mask, which is out on the 31st, which is tomorrow, Halloween. This was the best looking out of the those kind of horror games. This one seemed like it had like a bit of a budget to it. Apparently, this game is you are a kid and you are taking like into.
You're a squid.
You're a kid.
You're a squid now.
A school and like an evil nun, like you're taken to a school and you're locked in there with a bunch of other children, and it's single player, but it just looked like it had the most like budget. So I was like, oh, it could be.
Why is this toilet paper so pristine next to this exploded wall and dirt everywhere?
Because they're shitting on the walls, not on the toilet paper. But yeah, that was just one that I was like, well, I'll say one of them at least because it's Halloween. You know.
She looks like she's from what's that game? Is it like We Chosen Few?
Dead by Daylight.
Is it We Chosen Few?
Oh, We Happy Few.
We Happy. That's the one. Yeah.
You're doing We Happy Few a disservice there.
I think that's yeah. They got.
Oh come on, you see it right?
A little bit.
I see it.
Okay.
That's all that matters.
Then we got a bunch. Then we got a bunch of games. Skip forward a few days. We've got a bunch of games on November 3rd. The first one is From Space. This is I've talked about this in the past when we talked about the Steam Next demos.
Yeah. Oh, I remember you mentioned this.
Yeah, this was quite a fun one to play with friends. If it's cheap or on Game Pass, it would definitely be like a fun. Like, top-down shooter you play with friends.
All the Danganronpa blood.
Yeah, all the enemies are like pink aliens. So, and then the next one, this was like a bit of it's kind of a bit more indie this week, is a game called Beneath Oresa or something.
How do you spell that?
No, Oresa. Sorry.
Oh, Beneath Oresa.
Oresa, that one. Yeah, this is a roguelike card game fighting game. The graphics looked pretty good.
Very stylish.
It's very stylized, yeah.
Saturated cell shade.
There is a video of it, and it is like they are actually like swinging the sword combat wise, but it's card game based.
Okay, this looks interesting.
Yeah, it looked like pretty like.
It's got budget.
A lot of budget for what it is. So. There's that game.
Yeah, they're kind of running along like why can't I remember any Darkest Dungeon? Can't remember anything tonight. Brain is just failing me. Yeah, Darkest Dungeon.
Yeah. Next game. Oh, this is a fun one. Ghost Song.
Ghost Song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually found songs called Ghost. There we go.
This game, we had that Link to the Past clone.
Oh, okay. Don't say anything. Let's see what this is. Okay. Oh, this is Metroid.
Yeah, it's Metroid. Yeah. Like quite blatantly, a lot of the scenes are like, I recognize this instantly.
Oh my god, there was the Chozo there.
There's the jumping. She does a spin while she jumps.
Yeah,
like and I just thought that was kind of funny.
I appreciate like taking inspiration, but at what point are you just making a game that has already been made?
Hey, you know what though? We always complain about Nintendo not putting their games on PC.
This is
so
true.
I'm glad some people are doing it.
If this is good, then yeah, I'll play another Metroid game. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. The next, it's not a game, but I've know a lot of people who are excited for. Like, there's a new season of Deep Rock Galactic, which people are very excited about on November 3rd. We don't need to bring it up, but just thought I'd bring that up. The next game is called the Entropy Center, which this game looks like a puzzle game, almost like Portal, but instead you're using time mechanics.
Oh, hello.
So, like you bring objects back and forth in time, backwards and forwards in time, and
ooh,
I was like, yeah, this could be interesting. You know, you see the Portal.
I like this. Yeah, there's a whole like genre of puzzle shooters.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like the look of that.
There was one. I think there was a game called. I think it was called Cube. Or something. That was like a first-person puzzler. Hang on, Cube FPS puzzle game. Yeah, it was just Cube with a Q. There was like you had that. Oh fuck this. Can't find it. that was a good game. I like games like that.
Yeah.
I might I'm gonna wishlist this. I think and see how it does. Oh, it's a demo.
Oh yeah, okay. Actually, there's a lot of good things on Steam have demos these days. The last game for November 3rd is called The Chant. Now, I've seen like some big Twitter accounts tweet about this game. The Chant. Sorry,
Chant.
Chant. Yeah.
Sorry, my mistake.
The Chant survival game. There you go. I've seen this game again. There's another one which has a bit of a big budget, and I've just seen like some really big names tweet about this, so I was like, it might be one to keep an eye on.
Single player third-person horror action adventure game. Is it survival?
Yeah. I assume so.
Oh.
I think it's like got puzzle elements and stuff. There's like voice acting. There's like proper animated cutscenes.
Yeah.
So again, if it's got a bit of a budget, I was like, oh yes, because there were so many that were like, look like early access or the cheaper.
It looks like a Dead by Daylight mod.
Kind of, I can see that.
Because even Dead by Daylight has like similar UI to this, I think, of like the weird.
Yeah, but that would be the traits in Dead by Daylight.
Yeah. I'm just.
Yeah. And then the last game that's coming out is on November 4th. It's Harvestella, which is Square Enix's, I believe.
It's their crack at the old RPG farming game.
Yes.
Because everyone is doing that
with
now for some reason.
A bit more combat in it.
It was that one Nintendo Direct that we watched a while back where there were like 3 farming RPGs back to back.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my god.
That was Sammeh, wasn't it? I remember that.
And I think this was the better looking one.
This is one of the better ones. Yeah, it's Square Enix, so it's got some budget behind it for sure. And the combat looked interesting. I think like Sam was interested in this one until he saw that it was like action RPG combat.
I said no shadows on anything.
No, probably because the Switch can't handle it and it's coming out.
Because it's midday, Josh.
Oh yeah, the sun is directly above everything.
The sun is directly over your head. Yeah.
So you
don't even know how to farm.
Based on the shadows at the front there, it actually looks like the sun is not directly ahead. But
shut up, Sam. I know what you're talking about.
No, that's a smudge on the screen.
Square Enix is never wrong. It's a smudge.
Is that Was that bananas in the background? What is this farm?
Is this banana?
Is this banana?
Well, it's like
what is he doing?
What is this thing down here?
I like he like what's
got a carrot with an apple tree.
When there's like a rabbit with a long tail and horns right in front of your face.
I presume that was some kind of pig.
It's a Final Fantasy pig or something. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
What are they over there? Fucking weird ass post boxes? What is this game?
Yeah, this game is like their big budget. Like they're promoting.
You got StarCraft minerals as well.
Yeah. What the fuck? Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Can I get married in this game, Steve?
I assume so. You could always can in these types of games.
Yeah, I bet every character looks like they're 12 though, and it's really weird.
Why are you clicking on download the full size pictures of these?
Because that's what brings up the higher quality. Steve, I've been doing this shit for like 41 weeks, mate. Don't question what I'm doing here. We're done here. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Get out of it. Thank you for watching, everybody. we've done another week of the podcast. Good job, you three. You've survived another week.
Thank you. I was just really tired today. I didn't think we'd make it.
When we started this,
day has flown by for me.
We started the podcast. I was sitting down with Steve about 10 minutes before starting, and I was just in my head, just like, oh god, I'm so tired. I'm just very hungover still, so I'll get a good night's sleep tonight. Yeah, we'll do our social stuff and we'll get out of here. My name is Josh. You can find me on everything as BottlerWorks, all the good usual stuff: Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all those fun stuff. What about you, Will?
I'm Olive Meister. You know where to find me.
And Quikwix.
I'm Quikwix on every platform. That's QUIKWIX.
And Sammeh.
I'm Sam.
As always, he still hasn't changed. He's still Sam.
No, still just me.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
I'm watching House of Dragons. It's good. Bye.